Welcome to Parasol Geek. I'm Suzy Diaz.
I'm Miguel Guerra. And it's time, yet again, to get your geek on. And this is part 2 of our inking series. So please hurry up and get yourself inked up.
Yeah, you can follow the link to part 1, and parts 3 and 4 will be available soon. So we hope you enjoy this episode.
Mm-hmm. And it's time to get your geek on. The style is that mood, and I don't think that a ghost story would work well with an open style. And I felt that heavy black is something that is very reminiscent of the old school comics, EC, or even Hellboy, and that's why I chose heavy black for this story. And it was a blast. And as a matter of fact, I don't think if I wasn't working on the story, I wouldn't have done all that stuff for Inktober.
Right. Oh, yeah, all your horror drawings.
All my horror drawings, yeah. I very much.
This does remind me an Edgar Allan Poe sort of. It does give this traditional ink etch thing to me. Mm-hmm. That's what pops into my mind when I see this. So it reminds me of old-fashioned kind of horror stories or film noir with a heavy dark shadow.
Yeah, which is what influenced a lot of those guys to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of them were going to the movie theater seeing that stuff. I grew up on those Vincent Price movies.
Yeah.
I love film noir. I think that when it comes to shadow and shade and all that.
Yes, those are great for lighting.
Yeah, and when it comes to color, I think that the old pastel colors that they used in a lot of those Vincent Price movies, like The Raven and stuff, there's just something that's so unique to that period. Instead of just using like a pure blue filter or green filter with just a few highlights of a few colors, there's something rich and lush about it.
Yes, sorry, I'm going back to the inking. Mm-hmm. Another advantage, you can zoom in as much as you want.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like your built-in little magnifying glass.
Yes, which is good for my eyes. And the other thing is to keep in mind, if you are using Manga Studio, don't zoom in like that close. I mean,
you can. You might have a lot of
But the little details that you put in there might not even be seen in the print.
Right.
So,
well, this is a heavy ink, heavy black.
Right.
That another story could be very subtle with small textures. No, it's the tool.
Now, here, something to keep in mind, something I'm doing. I'm working on the eye. Or I was telling you, one of the cool things I like so much about clip art or Manga Studio things.
We'll say digital inking, because it depends on the program.
But I'll say, because, I'll give a shout-out to Smith Micro on this.
Smith Micro!
Usually when you're doing anything to do with inking or coloring or anything in Photoshop, you only have the option of the two colors. You see the black and the white. Here, you actually have the option to use the actual transparency. So you're erasing it in a very clever way where you're taking it. I mean, you could use the eraser tool.
I'm not following you. What do you mean?
Well, you see there's two boxes. There's the black and the white over in your toolbox.
Okay, so on the left-hand side, on the tool bar, that vertical down the left side,
right.
You have a black box and a white box.
Right.
Okay.
Right underneath it, you have transparent.
Transparent. Okay.
So I like to use, because, I mean, you can use the erasers on this, and I do from time to time when it's like something really big.
There, you just clicked on it.
Right.
Okay.
And then you can use it as a way to carve out the black without using white.
So does it allow you to erase?
It allows you to, use the transparency, which is actually the eraser. And I use it with my Crow or mapping pen, Crow.
So if you have black, you click on transparency, you can basically erase. Make what was black transparent.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Empty it out, which is, I so dig that.
That's cool.
It makes
anything that allows me to erase, I love.
Yeah. I mean, you can use the eraser tools, but I find that the eraser tools, you can't use the mapping pen. So it's not as sharp, in my view, as using the transparency.
Good tip. Mm-hmm. Cool tip.
Mm-hmm. We did tell you that the today's episode was brought to you by the letter I.
That's right.
For inking.